Okay, so they rejected my last video because it was too long. Um, I've been a very busy bee. I just went over today with my arms worker at noon to the Mental Health Consumer Survivor Network of Minnesota, and I have a warm line where I'm going to volunteer to talk to people um, who are in recovery who need support. Their phone line is going to be open. Let's see, what are the hours? Twin Cities Metro phone line, or warm line, it runs from Tuesday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and the number is 1-877-404-3190. And I'm going to be working there as an operator. I have to be trained yet, but I think they wanted me. I have to say, I showed up there, I looked like crap, but they wanted me. Which is good. I mean, looking like crap is one of those things I have to work on as an INFP, but they definitely were interested in my recovery, and I told them, I'm like, I was in the hospital 3 years ago, and it was so dehumanizing, and there was no kind of there was no therapy. There was no therapeutic value to the way they took care of their clients there at the hospital. I told them that. I was like, it was dehumanizing. It was horrible. It was degrading. It was like, I was asking, during the time I was going through my psychosis, I was cogent enough to call all my relatives, ask them, hey, can you put out tobacco for me? Can you burn sage for me? Can you burn sweetgrass for me? Because that's what I wanted them to do. I don't know if any of them did that. I don't think they did. Um, and then I remember I was up there and I was writing this email to my sister, and I said, can you find somebody in the Medewan who does healing, who can help me? And it was funny, like, a couple days later, I remember, like, my dad and my sister claimed that they didn't know anybody like that. And it's funny because my sister, her brother on her mom's side, is in the Medewan, so why couldn't she just ask him and be like, my other brother on my dad's side needs healing, and can somebody do that for him? It would have been that easy, and I wish she would have done that, but instead they chose to disown me, uh, for being, one, mentally ill, and for two, being gay. They just decided, they were like, we can't deal with you anymore, bye. Um, and that's fine, that's kind of a hurt, but it's fine. I've been able to go beyond it and walk without them, and I don't really need them for my recovery. But anyway, I want to keep this video short. Suffice it to say, I went on and on about being a recovering Catholic, and how I talked to my friend Christy today, who I know from church, and I basically told her, I'm like, Christy, I feel really called to leave the church, and I told her, I'm like, I feel called to practice my Ojibwe ways, and she was really understanding. She was very kind, and she was really understanding, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, Christy, I don't think Rochelle and Shirley are going to understand. Rochelle and Shirley are two other friends that I had from church when I was, you know, trying to become a practicing Catholic again. There's a long story behind that, but suffice it to say, I came back to the church after a long time out of it, just to try to get in my adopted dad's good graces, and have him, um, talk to me again, and be in a relationship with him. And I was talking to my brother in California, and he's like, Joe, that's so unhealthy. Don't do that. Like, don't do this thing just to please dad, because dad is crazy with the Catholic thing. Like, he really is. He's all about blaming the devil for stuff, and, like, it's like, you can't take responsibility for yourself, for your own behavior. You have to blame the devil, and you have to cling to Jesus and Mary because you can't take care of yourself. And and I just don't want to be that person. I don't want to be my adopted dad. And one of the things about my recovery is I woke up one day and I realized, hey, my mom, my biological mother, not to speak badly about her, but she's still stuck in her pain. She's still stuck. She hasn't recovered. She hasn't been able to recover. And I told myself, I do not want to wake up when I'm old, when I'm an elder, and be this person like her where I'm just bitter and I'm going from one pain to the next in the past and I'm not able to release any of it. I'm, grouchy and holding grudges and bitter and not able to laugh, not able to have a sense of humor. I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he's like, she's just a dry drunk, 'cause she quit drinking a while, like many, many years ago, actually. She got help for her bipolar, and she quit drinking. But I have to say, I noticed that she's just not a happy person, and I don't want to end up like her. Love you, Mom, but I don't want to be ya. And I have the same thing to say to my adopted dad as far as like the Catholic thing goes. Love you, but I don't want to be you. So I'm walking this other road now. I'm trying to get back to my Ojibwe ways and learn that. Learn to talk to those grandfathers and ask them for their help. Um, because that's who's there to help me. And yeah, but I want to keep it short, so I'm gonna cut it off. Like I said, I'm doing the warm line, and I'm also, I posted a couple things on my Facebook. I'm trying to get into doing an ACA group for the Native community. So I'm looking for a space to host the meeting, and I'm looking for people that are interested enough to we're supposed to be self-supporting, so I don't want to ask any outside sources for money, but I do need dinero for the Big Red Book and some of the literature and stuff like that for the ACA group. But like I said, if I was talking, I called out a bunch of people and I was like, look, I want to start this. And they were kind of like, are you sure there's not something already out there that does that, and aren't you just reinventing the wheel? And you know, so I've called around and I've talked to people, and I'm basically reaching out to try to get this thing started, to start an ACA group in the Indian Center. If there's not already one there, I know there's actually an organization called the National Association of Native American Children of Alcoholics. That's a mouthful. So, but they have a national organization, and I'm just wondering if it could start like a small local group. And I ran into this Wellbriety movement website where they're talking about healing intergenerational trauma and all that stuff. So I watched that video, I posted it on my Facebook, and I'm like, I want to do this because I want to help out with it, and I want to start hosting meetings in the community for us, by us. I think group conscience is going to end up dictating that we change some of the words and some of the steps and stuff like that to reflect more of an indigenous understanding of spirituality. Like, we're not going to call the white man's God, okay? We're going to call on our creator, and that's going to be the way that is. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm busy doing lately. So, sorry I'm, kind of unkempt and just babbling on at 20 million miles an hour, but this is kind of what I wanted to post. So, miigwech, bising namaste, matakiwas.